I got to lean in.
What is up, everybody? Happy Wednesday Night Live. As you can see, we're running a little short on the recap today, but you get the dolls of the Beverly Hills, myself and Tez. How are you doing tonight, Tez?
I'm doing okay. I just ran from upstairs to downstairs. For my
You run?
Yes, that's why
I've never seen you run.
Well, you will never see me run because you're a creep. But someone here in LA is probably watching me run.
Just up and down the stairs.
Up and down the stairs, child. Yes. But I'm doing
I pressed a button and I thought I just lost all the notes that I had taken for tonight's meeting. I was in a pure panic for like
that has
4
happened to me so many
seconds.
times. And I'd be like, well, I don't know how
we're winging it. We'll see how it goes. Thank you to everybody who showed up in the chats early and ready to go. Cheryl from Vegas. Hello, Cheryl from Vegas. We see that you were the first person who logged in ready for this recap. Thank you so much. We see Danny moderating down in the comments. You know, if you watch the show, Danny is not afraid to step and drag somebody if they're acting out of line in the comments. So keep it clean, keep it PG-13, or he will embarrass you. Right. Durga, Callie Harper, Elizabeth Hernandez, and Sean S. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Tonight's episode wasn't a huge eventful episode, but it definitely set the stage for some stuff that's probably going to happen, some little fights that we see go on in the second half of this. And so let's go ahead and get right in. We start off this episode with Kyle and Mauricio. We're sitting down and they're recapping the dinner that Kyle just had. And like a seasoned veteran pro, Kyle slips into the role of perpetual victim without missing a beat. It's all everybody else's fault. Sutton was being big and mean to her, and Maurice looks kind of exhausted, but is playing along. He said, I'll wing it. I don't need the script. You should tell Sutton just to go F herself. Mm-hmm. So Kyle kind of remains quiet, which was a little bit like, oh, you know, she seemed that she was so taken aback by what Sutton said. She was horrified. You would think that her husband saying, you should tell Sutton she needs to go F herself. She'd be like, yeah, she was very quiet, very tight-lipped. It was a very awkward exchange. And at the end of it, they both get up to leave. And Kyle tries to leave the room, and Mauricio kind of puts his arm around her and leans in for a kiss. It looks very uncomfortable. And for some reason or another, Kyle like completely clenches up and dry heaves into his mouth. To me, that's what it looked like to me. She did not want that man kissing on her. The lesbianism took over, and she was disgusted. We get a shot. We get Sutton and Avi arrive at her source, Sutton, established 1971. And they meet with planners for their 4th anniversary party. I really liked seeing the side of Sutton, like the businesswoman. I almost forgot that she does have her own store that we saw she opened up her first season back in 2019. And so they're going over. It's an anniversary party. She wants to kind of celebrate herself because she made it through COVID. It was her first time really as a business owner. And this was just something that she did for herself to kind of stand out on her own, and she's very proud of her accomplishments. So they're talking about what the event's going to look like, and the planner says, we could have delicious food, and Sutton kind of said, no, there's really no need. Everybody's on Activia. And Avi is like, no, baby, that's Ozempic. And she's like, regardless, people are not eating at this thing, so we're fine. And after the quick little planning discussion, Sutton calls Crystal. And the two of them are kind of going back and forth with the subject of Kyle comes up, and Crystal wants to know if Sutton is going to be bringing Kyle. And Sutton says she has no problem with Kyle as long as Kyle understands that there's not going to be any fighting at this event. Sutton wants to take this event very, very seriously. But then it kind of shifts, and she's incredulous that Kyle and Dorit and this insinuation about her drinking problem is very, very problematic and harmful to her. One, we just saw her discuss her custody arrangement with Kyle. She's scared that her husband could want to take her son to England where he's moving, and she doesn't want that custodial arrangement to be affected any, which is, I think, a pretty fair assumption and not out of the question at all. But then she also says, I'm a businesswoman. I'm on boards. Like, I'm trying to celebrate my business here, and having these accusations that I have a problem drinking, I'm not going to stand for it, and I'm going to nip it in the bud. And when Sutton says she's going to nip Sutton in the bud, she is going to. She gets that little fire look in her eye, and her little curls start going. I think this is just how dare they say I drank. Crystal looked a damn mess. I laughed because Sutton was like, "Ooh, you okay?" And Crystal said, "I'm just tired." Tez, what did you think of the little introduction?
So I'll say that Mauricio and Kyle look very awkward, as I see in the comments. I agree with Callie Harper. Very awkward. Not just the kiss, the entire scene. You can kind of see them kind of playing into this whole storyline on the camera, whether it's real, whether it's fake. They're starting to tap into it now. We were thank God for Sutton and Garcelle for kind of, putting out there at the dinner party from Hell Part 3. And I think now they're trying to get ahead of it. I think in this whole episode, Kyle kind of took from that dinner, okay, the girls are on to me. Let me try to switch this around. And not just with Mauricio, but with Kim, which we'll talk about later. I said that last week too. Mm-hmm. So I mean, nothing really in that scene. It does not beat any allegations, any type of insinuations or any type of denials if you don't want to kiss your husband. So if I was her, if I was smart, Kyle, I would have probably kissed him and slobbered him down like he was the best looking thing ever, And Mauricio is an attractive guy. I think he's attractive.
Yeah.
So nothing really there. Now, as far as Sutton, I agree with Sutton on these allegations of her being an alcoholic or drinking. It's kind of crazy to see, Kyle come up with this a couple of episodes ago, because what the girls are speaking on and not really saying a lot is actually true. They are having issues, whether real or fake. They are having issues in this moment, and we see it. So for her to kind of deflect so hard and say, "Oh, you're drinking, you have a drinking problem." I mean, all these women on Housewives, they drink. Last year, if you want to really get into drinking things, I mean, Erika was drinking and on pills last year, and I don't think Kyle had much to say about it last year, except for Erika. She didn't make a big deal about it. So let's not. If Sutton is having some, vodka in her coffee and whatever she drinks, then she's fine. This is what housewives do. If I did not have to work and my husband was paying for everything and going to London or wherever, I would be drinking every day too. Because what else is there to do? I mean, I'm just saying. So I don't see anything wrong with her when she says that it could affect her business. Kudos to her shop. I've never actually been. I live here in LA. I've never seen it. Not saying it doesn't exist, but
this alleged shop.
For her to start a shop, in 2019, right before the pandemic, or whenever it was, it survived the pandemic, especially in LA. If LA, we were the most shut down states, well, city, but California in general, we were shut down. We didn't really open up until we had our first full summer this past summer. Up until then, we were kind of like still closed and opening and closing. So kudos to her for making it through, because especially for her to have a business. And I don't know who's buying the clothes. I don't know. I'm not saying anyone is, but someone's buying it. Someone's keeping her afloat, or maybe she just had that much damn money to where she can keep her business up, because a lot of businesses suffered here in LA. Yeah, so that's big for her. So hey, I'm happy for her.
I like the little aesthetic of the shop with it looks very Sutton, but with maybe just a little bit more polish in terms of the fashions, because some of the stuff they were showing, I was like, yeah, that absolutely looks like something Sutton would pick to put in her store, but it doesn't have any cat sweaters or any ornaments dangling off of it. So it's maybe just a little touch of class. But either way, good for her. It's Kyle. Apparently, Kyle has a life coach now. This man comes over to her house, and I'm really starting to during this thing, I was like, how long has she had this man? And is she viewing his credentials? Because her life has been in a constant state of self-inflicted ruin and chaos for the last 13 or 14 years. So what good is this life coach doing? On cue, she starts crying about her family for the 34th season in a row. Everybody else is the problem. Everybody else is bullying her. Everybody took issue with her businesses, took issue with her husband's business, took issue with the book, took issue with the TV show she was trying to do. It's everybody else's problem. You can tell that there is something very heavy weighing on Kyle, and I can't tell if it's strictly the marriage or if it's the passing of her friend or if it's a combination of both. But in this scene, through the performative tears, we see Kyle be actually genuine. Probably the first time she shed actual genuine tears in a while. And it's when she's talking about the suicide of her friend. Mm-hmm. And we get a little bit of flashback of her friend. And I choked up a little bit at this because you can see Kyle is like, I don't understand. This lady she was in my will. She was supposed to take care of my kids if something happened to me. This was completely out of the blue. Like, I don't know what the hell happened. Mm-hmm. And if anybody who's ever been affected by something like this, those are questions that we all have. Like, what the hell is going on? So my heart went out for her. It was rough, but I can't feel too bad for her considering what she did to Lisa Vanderpump right after Lisa's brother's suicide and the way she treated her. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, lady, you reap what you sow, and it sucks that you're having to go through this, but like, you didn't show a lot of compassion to one of your best friends a couple of years ago in the middle of that. Garcelle and Jade are having a dinner date with Jade's girlfriend. She's super, super adorable. And you could tell throughout this whole interaction, like, the girl has him completely whipped. Like, he can't go to the buffet without her. He can't go to the bathroom without her. He stays on the phone after she goes to sleep. And Garcelle is like, I need you to watch movies with me. And the girlfriend's like, yeah, when I go to sleep, maybe just like hang up and go do something else.
It was cute though, because I mean, you have days and you're like, when you was on the phone, fall asleep with whoever you was, and just y'all, this person sleep, but y'all go to sleep together. It was cute. I was like, oh yeah, I miss that kind of puppy dog.
I want them to keep that energy and not be jaded like us.
Well, speak for yourself. I'm not jaded.
Us.
I can't relate.
So Garcelle approves of her, and the young lady does seem very well mannered, very well spoken. She's so cute, such a pretty girl. So like, I'm glad that Garcelle is like understanding that. Like, she even said, she was like, I used to worry about Jax, but he has like this air of like maturity and like an older soul. She was like, I'm 100% worried about Jade right now. Yeah. Jade is like full 15-year-old basketball friend and girlfriend. We get a quick shot. I guess it was meant to serve as an introduction to Annemarie and her transphobe, BLM detractor, white privilege denier, and alleged rapist of a husband.
Oh my God.
They're going all true. They have a beautiful family. Their 3 kids are so damn cute, so adorable. But then Annemarie starts talking about what her husband said made him marry her. And I'm like, he is not beating any of the allegations. So apparently this man says he loves her because she's a solid 8.5, meaning she's not a 10 in looks. She's not a 10 in intelligence. She's not a 10 in cooking. But she's a solid 8.5. And I'm like, is that romance? Is this what we have to look forward to? Oh my God. And she's just laughing. She was like, well, actually, I got a 9 on body. And I'm like,
yeah,
baby, I don't take this L and go off, like leave. And then to end this out, we see Erika is calling her mama. And informs her about this Las Vegas residency. I will say, if you've watched this show for the last 2 or 3 years, you have seen how hard I have been, and I'm only speaking for myself and my square, on Erika Jayne, and rightfully so. The lady was vile to people and the victims of her husband's crimes for 2 years straight. I will say, if this new Erika Jayne and this new mood, whatever she's in, if this is legitimate, this is quite possibly one of the best rebrands that we've seen since Camille Grammer after her first season. Like, Erika Jayne has the storyline. I'm rising from the ashes. I'm rebuilding my own career. I'm signing a Las Vegas residency. I'm making amends. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I got to cheer for her because she was in the lowest of the lows. But yeah, she's telling her mom about this Las Vegas residency. She's bouncing back after a really crappy 3 yeurs. She's getting ready to invite her mom, and her mom interrupts and was like, I was wondering when you were going to invite me back. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my God, lady. So yeah, that ends kind of this little package. You know, they seem to be kind of trying to highlight people that they haven't been doing. What are your thoughts on what we've gotten so far, Cortez?
Well, that was a lot. You know, my brain it's great, but it ain't that big. But I will say a couple things. for Kyle, I think that is the reason why she's talking to a therapist or a life coach about this, because I think she knows how she handled the situation with Lisa Vanderpump. And I think that people would definitely look, and it will come up. If with the reunion, it will come up at some point. I also wish that she may have used this. I don't want to say use this because, may her best friend rest in peace. I hate that. That to her. Especially in life where Kyle, is like rich and famous, and I don't know her best friend's situation, but there was her best friend. So, if you're rich, then I'm kind of rich too, in a sense, like we kind of share a similar, I would hope, I don't know about Kyle because Kyle's a little selfish in her own ways, but I wish that she may have, shed some light to that when she was talking to Sutton about like what was going on, because clearly she's talking about it to the life coach. So why not share it to, with, Sutton and be like, nothing's going on here, but let me tell you what is happening. My best friend, she passed away and she, took her life, unalived herself, whatever. And maybe that would have helped her, but she didn't. So I don't really have anything else to add there. I thought it was cute for Garcelle. I love that Garcelle's like side storyline is her and her sons. It's good to see a follow-up. I hate seeing where we kind of touch on something and then we don't come back to maybe the end of the season. So we're seeing, how it started, how they felt about her parenting and how they wanted to move and things like that. She's working on building that relationship. I think it's great. It may not be the most interesting to everybody, but I think it's interesting to see, family dynamic. It is important with housewives in general. As far as what was the third scene? I forgot before Erika.
Annemarie.
Okay, so Annemarie. Now, I'm not married and I am single as a dollar bill. However, I don't know if I would publicly say that my husband, man, wife, whatever, says that he chose me because I am at 8.5 in everything. I mean,
while that man looks the way he was looking. How dare you?
Why not just leave some things, behind? Like, just leave some things behind. We don't have to hear everything. You know what? I don't know their relationship, but based off that comment and just seeing how she, has kind of admitted to not being the best cooking, and he even said if it was based off cooking, you would still be at the altar. He said that to her. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like he kind of wanted a trophy wife, and he got a trophy wife. She says that many people were trying, and I think it probably was a lot of them in line, but she, won because she was 8.5. And what that translates to me is like when you are with somebody where you kind of, I ain't gonna say you lower your standards, but you'd be like, well, he ain't got everything, but he got this. I could see that, but he basically said she ain't got everything of nothing.
At nothing, but you like, you average. You a little above average.
But because she's average, I wanted somebody that was average. I didn't want anybody that was too bad. They could do too well. I wanted somebody that could cook a little bit and just be a little. I was just like, okay, girl, that's kind of interesting. But as you said, her children are beautiful, and I don't really have anything else there. I saw a comment where a Haitian Empress said the mid-season preview will not age well for Annemarie or whatever her name is, if the allegations are proven correct. They are correct. They're out there. They are correct. You can look up anything about them and the tweets and everything that they were saying. It is very true. So look that up. As far as Erika and her residency, I'm happy for her. What I will say, what touched me in this scene was that she talked about how she had been going through so much, and she has, whether she was, retarded and acting kind of crazy about the victims and stuff like that, because she still has not apologized to those victims. Those victims are still waiting their apology. But it's good to see that whatever, clearly she wasn't having a good time, and now things are coming full circle for her. Like, what she wants. She's trying to get back to dancing and performing. It's we learned, last week it wasn't that expensive to be her. But it's a budget to be her, right? It's a budget.
It's a budget.
It's a little frugal to be her.
We love it. Design on a dime.
Correct. So I like the full circle moment for her, and I agree. Like, I don't think it's a rebranding, but she is definitely disengaging. She is on her own thing, and I think she's gone through 2 seasons of like so much that she's kind of retracting, kind of being like, listen, unless honestly it's given, don't come for me unless I send for you. At the moment, she's not really coming for anybody. I mean, we know that her and Denise get into it later in the season, and it started from last week's dinner. But in this moment, I would say that, Denise definitely came for her. Not maybe, definitely deserved, because she wanted answers. But if there is an issue, when there will be, I think Erika's well in her right to respond then. And she seems like she's just sticking her nose where it is and not in other people's business or other drama. She's not even defending Kyle, really. She's supporting her, but she's not doing what Rinna or somebody would do. And it's like being blind to just crap, you know? So that's all I have for that.
She reminds me of how she was her first 2 seasons. If you remember when Erika first came on, she was very much the glamour, but she wasn't engaging with a lot of people. It was really, she only was talking with Yolanda. She wasn't getting into fights. She really didn't have a lot to say about other people's drama. She was just there. She provided little witty one-liners and looks. And it feels like she's retracted a little bit back to there. And I think she's like, I want a season of the heat not on me. Because Erika is not stupid. Like we've said this over to, she's a lot of things, but that lady is not stupid. This is now her 7th or 8th season. She knows what the hell she's doing. She knows what she's doing. I think she's being extremely meticulous. I think her crew probably had a bunch of meetings about what needs to be shown on camera in order to not have a lot of other deals and branding and stuff like that fall through. The lady has to eat. She has to survive, and she ain't getting any money from her ex-husband. That's pretty much set in stone. So again, whether it's real Erika Jayne, whether it's a character for the Housewives show, she's playing her character. And I think after a season of Rinna, like somebody mentioned, she's backing off as she rightfully needs to, considering how much the fandom turned against her the last 2 seasons. So play the game, baby. Keep that diamond. We gotta pay the bills. So we get to the event. Sutton, her little tennis shoes, arrive at the event. And she immediately goes into like type A fix-it mode. She's like, I need you to move this, and I don't like this. What cracked me up, Cortez, is when she looked at somebody, she goes, I don't like that. That looks real old lady or matronly. And I'm like, now Sutton.
Well,
now Miss Sutton.
All I could think about was I should have worn freaking pants.
But you know what? Okay, so we kind of have joked about her tennis shoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She was literally talking about how sometimes the nerves on her feet like make it difficult for her to stand and it's painful. And I wonder if that's why she wears those big shoes.
Maybe. And
so now I feel bad for making fun of her Super Mario Brothers shoes.
Well, either way, I only talk about her little peg legs. I don't talk about anything else. So I'm very I don't want anybody coming at me in the comments. I'm going to say it. She has those little peg legs like Krusty the Krab. And
I hate you so much.
Crab, and I'm just like, as far as her condition with her shoes and her feet, I don't speak on that.
Her and her assistant Avi are kind of, she's totally freaking out. He's like, stop it, come and get ready. She's like, you need to stop bossing me around. You're not my mother. Haitian Princess does mention it's the way she treats certain people. It is a little bit jarring, but I have to think that like he's worked with her for how many years? I think that's like their shtick. Because like it's people on Watch What Happens Live, that man gives it right back to her. So like they're pretty much gay best friends, and like they just talk to each other crazy any old way. Meanwhile, while she's getting the venue ready, the ladies are starting to get ready for the party. We see them getting dressed, Dorit's getting dressed, Garcelle's getting dressed. We get a scene with Kyle talking to her girlfriend Tommy Pickles, and she's bringing her up to speed about the dinner. And again, Kyle is the perpetual victim. Sutton and Garcelle are mean. They were asking questions completely out of left field. They were badgering her, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't care. I'm going to have a good time tonight. And Morgan is like, well, what are you going to wear tonight? And she's like, I don't know, this necklace. I'm going to get everybody talking. Maybe he has another family. And I'm like, girl, nobody cares. Like, really, nobody cares. You're trying to make yourself more important than what you are. So as people arrive at the party, Dorit does say that Sutton gave her a heads up about the number of people just in case her convenient PTSD decides it's going to rear its head. And I'm like, okay, good for Sutton. I was trying to decide if it was shade. It's the reason Sutton did it, or she was being genuinely concerned for Dorit. But Dorit seemed to have no problem at this event, it seemed to be a little bit bigger than the movie screening. She was fine. I guess you only have to tell her how many people are going to be there.
Yeah, in order for her to say, she didn't do that.
She didn't do none of that.
Girl, what?
Garcelle, she's really asking on the phone, Sutton, who's all going to be there? Who's all coming? Let me know.
I can't
so
stand a who's all coming type person. I mean,
she's very much a who's all coming.
I get the storyline she's coming from, but I do not like a who's all coming type person. Just an FYI.
So if you invite Tez anywhere, if Tez invites you, do not ask him who's all going to be there.
Ask, because I'm going to say I'm going to be there, and that's all you're going to get.
And that's all I needed to know to say I'm not coming.
Good. That's why I said
Great. Crystal and Garcelle get a chance to talk with Sutton. Garcelle, a lot of times online we see that the fandom, who are very Fox Force 4, are kind of attacking Garcelle and Sutton, saying they're not real friends, that it's all for camera, it's all for show. Here we get a little bit of like Garcelle really genuinely talking about Sutton, saying, I'm really proud of what she's built in the last 4 years. It's not easy to do this in the middle of a pandemic. When I first met her, she had kind of said that she hadn't worked for 17 years and now she was opening up a store. And Garcelle said she was almost certain that they weren't going to have a single thing in common. And then here they are 4 years later and she genuinely loves her. And so I think any of the Fox Force 4 have ever talked about each other in that way. So do with that information what you will. Kim and Kyle are starting to arrive. Kim, in typical Kim fashion, is having a mini meltdown in the car, saying this is the first time that she has been out in a while to an event, things of that nature. She's a little bit nervous being around so many people. And rather than trying to reassure her sister and kind of calm her down, Kyle is like, oh, yeah, no, we're going to be fine. And she intimates in her confessional that she's very happy Kim is coming, not because she gets to spend time with her sister, but because she gets to show Sutton that she didn't lose both of her sisters and she has a great relationship with Kim.
Yeah, she only lost one.
That's math. When they arrive, Sutton does notice this and says, wow, Kyle ain't stupid. She's bringing Kim so that way she can say, look how great my relationship is with her. Kim and Sutton are kind of talking. I love Kim. I just love seeing Kim on my screen. Kyle does come up and say hi to her. There is some obvious tension there, but it's kind of like, all right, well, you have a good day. We're going to go on our way. Meanwhile, like Kim is talking, coloring on the walls with Sutton's artist friend, and it's typical Kim fashion. So you did mention last week that when we saw Kim, Kyle really was going to try to cart these people out to kind of prove that her relationships are not bad. How does it feel to say that you were 100% right when she literally admitted that that's why she invited Kim?
Well, I mean, I saw last week, it was so conveniently placed, that last scene, last week. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not surprised. What better way to try to prove somebody wrong than bring, as they say, a prop. I hate to say that she has Kim there as a prop, but maybe Kim just wanted to play in color. She wanted to play in color books and, water paint and to just play around and stuff like that. She didn't really want to be at that event. She was just so amazed at the decor that she couldn't even focus on anything but the decor. I was just like, oh, Kim. She did not want to be dressed up at some fabulous event. That's not even her thing. That's really more of what's her name?
Kyle and Kathy's.
That's Kathy's thing. That's not really Kim's thing. So it was very forced, in my opinion. I'm not saying she doesn't love her sister, because I definitely think she definitely has a lot of issues now because she deals with some of that, and she knows what she's done to her sister. She's not only still her damn house, but she got her off the show, didn't support her, all these things, right? But what better way, like I said, to try to prove someone wrong than bring the person that you say you fell out with? Like, oh no, we're fine, and she's here. It was convenient. It was definitely I hate that, but a prop. She was a prop.
Yeah, and I feel bad because Kim is probably like, oh, Kyle invited me somewhere. Yes, like I'll happily go spend time with Kyle. And Kyle, meanwhile, is like, oh, I'm so happy I brought her so I can shut Sutton up. Carrie is dead ass wrong for this comment. Kim is coloring on the walls, and I know Kyle is glad she stole her goddamn house.
Somebody put Carrie in timeout. She gotta
go. I will say Kim's art is cute. Like, I'm glad that she's finding an outlet for Kim Richards can do no wrong in my eyes. So
I love
not too much on Kim, Carrie. Not too much on Kim.
What happened? What is it on Kim?
I said no, Carrie. Not too much on Kim, Carrie.
Right. Get somebody else put Carrie out of here. Okay.
All right. So Sutton starts to give a speech. I don't know if you noticed. Did you see Megan Edmonds from Real Housewives of Orange County in the back of Sutton while she was giving the speech. Inspector Gadget, who brought down Cancergate. I would actually like to see her on Beverly Hills because she's nosy as hell, and her and Sutton would be a crime fighting duo. Sutton, God bless her. She's trying to throw shade to Kyle about insinuations, and instead is just rambling. I love labels. I like when women wear labels.
And
I don't like
when women.
I don't like when women put labels on women. But I love labels.
Huh? Well, I was like, land this plane and get me off of it. I don't know what's going on. But I like labels too, Sutton. Yeah, girl. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, girl. But the message was received because Kyle immediately looks at Erika, and Erika's like, just go on, girl. Just ignore her. Sutton finally says, I'm not the best speaker, but then I'm very proud of myself. She starts talking about
paper,
like her cue cards. I was like, you had the opportunity.
And confused.
But she does. She finally lands the plane. She says she's very, very excited about celebrating this. She's happy that she has her friends here. And then she says, all right, everybody, enjoy the drinks. Now, this is where she ate Kyle up. She walks over to Kyle. She's like, I just want to let you know, I'm going to go have a drink. It's my first of the night. I just want to make sure I get permission from Mom. And Kyle's like, okay. She's like, all right, bye.
I really thought that she was talking to Kim. And I feel like in the moment, even Kim kind of thought like, huh? Like
Kim looked confused.
I was like, wait, I hope Sutton is not saying this about Kim, like, because I'm like, please don't be that dense now. Come on now. Because
yeah.
But then I was like, he's not, because I was able to finish my sandwich.
Kyle caught it. Kyle's face immediately. So hold on. Okay, so Kyle immediately, rather than doing what Kyle normally does, which is talk about people behind their back, she kind of steps to Sutton. She's like, well, now hold on. You're obviously mad about what I said. I didn't imply that you had a drinking problem in general. I was concerned about that night. And I'm like, girl, we saw episodes of you talking about Sutton's drinking problem. Yeah. Sutton's not buying the BS. She's like, oh, okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the ladies are chatting about the dinner. Talka Denise comes up and Garcelle kind of pats Erika on the back, letting her know, I was very shocked that every time I think you're going to react the way you don't react. And Erika was like, baby, I was high as hell. But also I'm just like trying not to react to things now. Kyle and Sutton are continuing to speak. Kyle is like, you're talking about my ring. You're talking about this. Sutton's like, actually, I never mentioned the ring first. That was actually Garcelle. And Kyle thinks she got her. She was like, no, it was you. It was you. Bring Garcelle over here. So Garcelle comes over and she goes, Sutton saying that you're the one that brought up the ring. And Garcelle says, I did. I asked if it was because Mauricio cheated on you. And Kyle stands there kind of stunned. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's year 4 with Sutton and Garcelle. You're not dividing them. The two of them are on the same page when it comes to stuff. So Kyle starts doubling down and like, I didn't mean that you had a drinking problem again. And I was merely, I didn't like how you were questioning me. And Sutton, I'm very proud again of Sutton in this spot. She's not stuttering. She's not crying. She doesn't get flustered. She says, I'm merely asking what other people are talking about. And Kyle, other people are talking about this. And in her confessional, Sutton names them, all the list of rumors of Mauricio's cheating. Kyle has a girlfriend. Mauricio's getting sued. The two of them don't live together. The two of them are getting divorced. And then she says, but that's none of my business, so I'm not talking about it. Dorit probably should have sat there and ate her food, but instead she wants to insert herself and says, well, Sutton was doing the thing where she talks about Kyle's marriage behind her back. Sutton cuts her off immediately and says, well, while we're talking about people talking about each other behind our backs, Crystal said that you have been talking about my drinking behind my back. Dorit, I don't know if you caught this, Cortez. Dorit switches up Sutton's words immediately and says, I have not been telling everybody. And Sutton says, no, I said talking about it. This is what Dorit kind of does. If you go back, she will take something, make it exponentially worse than what you said, repeat it multiple times to where now her version of the story is truth. Dorit caught a little bit of shade. She goes, Crystal spent her entire tenure in this cast not speaking up, and now all of a sudden she wants to open her mouth and talk. So she runs over to confront Crystal Kyle and Sutton kind of come to a place of understanding. They both are apologizing, and it seems genuine, but Sutton does say what we're all thinking. She doesn't trust Kyle. And it's just because that we did apologies and did all of this doesn't mean that Kyle is all forgiven, or that I've forgotten what Kyle did. I forgive, but it's going to take me a while to get over it. She kind of has one eye on Kyle, which I think we're all in agreement she needs that. So before we get your thoughts on this, Dorit confronts Crystal about this. And she again tries to mince words. She goes, Crystal, Sutton said that you're going around telling people what I said about Sutton. And Crystal corrects her and says, going around and telling people, or going around and just telling Sutton? To which Dorit again stutters, well, that's neither here nor there.
Exactly.
And Crystal is saying, my God, I am on the receiving end of a Dorit interrogation. It's feared. You don't want to be there. I've avoided it, but here I am. It's my turn. And we get a hilarious package of Dorit just talking in circles, going and going and going. And Crystal ends it by
I'm bored,
exhaling a deep sigh of trepidation and saying, I'm bored.
To
which Garcelle cackles. So what are your thoughts on the little shade that Sutton threw, and then Kyle trying to clean up what viewers saw actually happening at that dinner?
Well, I'm wearing my shirt today. Big Sutt.
Big Sutt.
You know, shout out to Chase for coining this. I made this last season. I stopped wearing it because Big Sutt got really small.
It got Sutt. She was just Sutt.
Big Sutt she's bigger than ever. No fat, no shame, and nobody shaming at all. I thought she did well. One, it was her event, and she did not fold under pressure. I don't want to keep saying that I'm proud of her for not folding, but in these moments where we've seen her just cry and just have a meltdown, lose her ish, as Kyle said a couple episodes ago. She's not doing that. And when she was talking to Kyle, I mean, she got her. Like, Kyle knows she said that she had a drinking problem. It wasn't about that night. She started insinuating that something was off with her at her house. Carried over into it. Then it carried, like Kyra said, she said that she had 50,000 problems that night. She was drinking, ankles, legs, can't
hips, body.
Right, legs, hips, and body. At this rate, Sutton needs a scooter. The amount of problems that Kyle says she has. So I was proud of Sutton for getting her. It's just interesting seeing her try to mend things with Kyle in this moment, because with Sutton, because I feel like if Kim had not been there, she would have lost it.
Absolutely.
On the defense, she would have continue to deflect into more problems that she feels like Sutton has. So again, she's using Kim, and she's trying to put on because Kim was like, like I don't know where Kim head was other than trying to paint the walls behind her with some crayons, but she clearly was, like I said, Kyle was putting on for her. Dorit should have hushed. I like that, if she had hushed, then maybe Sutton would have gotten into her in this moment, but she got into her just well. And I like how they're playing with words, and they're tripping Dorit up, because Dorit this season thinks she thinks she's owning it. She thinks she is like on top of it. The shade about what's her name, Crystal was cute, because Crystal has been a mute. But what I'm liking the most about this, all of this, is that Crystal and Sutton are really rising to the occasion. They both, where even though Sutton had her moments and Crystal, she had moments where she kind of didn't rise to the occasions, but I feel like they're doing really well. And I mean, who wants to hear Dorit just sit there and talk and talk and talk? Like she said, I'm not telling everybody, I told one person. So they're trying to use the words and put the narrative out that it's been discussed in the group, because even Crystal asked Erika, did I tell you?
Yeah.
I don't even think Erika even gave a response, but she didn't tell Erika, because Erika didn't have a response, because she didn't even know anything about that. So they should just, I wish Dorit would have owned it and just said, okay, me and Kyle were talking about it, because the flashbacks show that, and Kyle went with it and Dorit ran with it.
Yeah.
On. So I'm I'm just happy to see them kind of like, I'm not the biggest fan of Crystal. She still annoyed me after things got so dark. God, take that word out the vocabulary. But I was happy to see her be like, okay, because I don't know where she sits this season, but she's speaking up a lot more. And she says that she spoke up even more before now, but they've cut some of her scenes where she's standing up for Garcelle and Sutton. I think we finally have this trio that we kind of been wanting for the last 3 seasons. That should have happened. And I think if it had been this way before, I honestly think that Rinna would still be around, and I think it would be even entertaining to see these 3, not versus them other 3, but at least have more. It would, because for a long time it was always just Garcelle and Sutton, just fighting for each other. But now we have Crystal, who's not really like getting in the mess, but she's befriended Sutton, she's befriended Garcelle, and she's speaking up. So I think that's what's important, and that's what I'm liking to see.
Yeah, it's if you followed us, it's no shock that a bulk of the panel on Beverly Hills has not been a fan of Crystal. I've been ambivalent. I go back and forth with her because I really want her. Because even when her and Sutton were fighting that first season, like Crystal was wearing Sutton out every chance she got. I like them much better as friends because we all noticed that the Fox Force 5 was only using Crystal as a means to have more ammunition against Garcelle and Sutton. And so ahead of last season, when Sutton and Crystal became friends, I was really disappointed that the whole dark storyline became a big thing and pushed to try to drive a wedge between them. I hated that because I was like, that's my big take with Crystal. Crystal hasn't dug her heels in anything or really stood up for Sutton or Garcelle. And so I'm happy to see her, while she may not be the loudest and the baddest and the biggest, like she's not afraid to like say, no, that's actually not what happened. We already have seen her last season go after Kyle and make Kyle look stupid, reduce Kyle to tears. So we know she has it in her. So I'm excited. We have a comment. Somebody said that they're happy to see her go against Annemarie later this season. I hope that we get more of this. I agree. I think getting Crystal, Sutton, and Garcelle, whether you like them or not, it is necessary to break up this little alliance that has been on Beverly Hills for a while with Rinna and Dorit and Kyle and Erika. Like things have become stale with them. We need something new, and we need people to be formidable, like clashes with them. And I'm enjoying Crystal for doing that now.
I agree.
So you did mention that there was a flashback of Kyle was the one that actually said that. So Crystal does actually clear it up. She goes, Sutton, I didn't say that Dorit was the one saying it. I said Dorit was agreeing a lot and joining in on a conversation that Kyle started. And I love that Crystal brought that up because at that time was when Kyle sat down with Annemarie and everybody else. And so I love that Crystal. No, actually it was Kyle, because just 3 seconds before, Kyle was like, I've never brought this up. I was only concerned that day. And so Sutton is like, oh, I misunderstood. Well, then I take that. Kyle, you were talking about this. Both of y'all have been talking about this. Annemarie randomly pops up and starts questioning Sutton about the medication she's taking. I'm like, okay, like I get, what does this medication have to do with what we're talking about now? Like, you can tell after the dinner, Annemarie was like Googling, like, can't you take this medication? I'm gonna get this girl. It was just so random.
To really take her profession even probably serious in that day, because she was like, let me show these girls that I'm smart, or I'm a medical expert or something.
She started off very condescending, and she was like, so let me get this straight. You have XYZ, and Sutton's like, yes. So I guess that means that you're taking XYZ, and said, yes. I don't think you're supposed to drink on that. I don't know. And I'm like, girl, come out and say it. You a 55-year-old woman. Come out and say what are you accusing this lady of? I'm glad Sutton caught that really quick. And she was like, well, you're not my doctor. So thank you very much. My doctor said that I can do this. Well, you can't. You're blah, blah, blah. And Sutton says, why do I feel like I'm at a doctor's appointment? Would you like my insurance card? Like, what are we doing right now? Like, who are you? I just met you. Annemarie looks offended. Kyle is whispering in her ear. Kyle is feeding into it. Oh, it's the esophagus. Oh, she's lying. Oh, it's this. It's this. And Annemarie is kind of sticking it to Sutton for some reason. Again, Sutton keeps her cool. I don't know if it was the liquor or what, but Sutton was like, Okay, well, I'm kind of tired of this conversation. Let's go get food. Or I got a doctor's appointment that I got to get to. Like, she was really throwing shade at this girl, and Annemarie is like, "Oh my god, that's so rude. That's so condescending." And Sutton's like, "Girl, I don't know you. I just met you." In her confessional, she says, "I just literally just met this lady, and I invited her to my event. All I know is she needs to buy something."
Right. No, for real.
So,
Like, maybe she should buy something.
she needs to buy something. So the episode ends with a little package of Sutton and the ladies kind of like talking about what Sutton's accomplished the last 4 years. I will say, seeing Erika have these really nice things to say about Sutton was good, considering the two of them do not have the best history. And so she was saying, she's very proud of the ambition that Sutton has. She's very proud of where she's taken, because most women her age that have that sort of money and that alimony and stuff, they choose not to work. They can do whatever the hell that they want to do. But Sutton's chosen to start a business and be very, very proud of that. Sutton's kind of patting herself on the back for carving her own lane, and she's very, very excited for it. And I am as well. So, guys, we have the link in the chat. Punk Daddy, I saw you earlier asking how do you join in to call. This is the link that you press. It will put us in the queue. Make sure that your audio is set to default, whether you're on headphones or you're using your computer audio. Just make sure that you are connected there. Tez, let's get your thoughts, and then we'll open up the lines for calls.
So I agree with the comments. I mean, I have my own brain, but I mean, she made herself look crazy. Like, she came in very strong and condescending towards Sutton. So how dare you try to turn around and say, now you're being condescending on my profession. You threw your profession and what you specialize in this woman's face to say that, to kind of allude to that she doesn't have this condition, or it's not having these, should not be drinking because of this condition, or if it is a condition, then this basically, I think she made a comment like, people who have this, they're just told to chew their food. Like, who comes to you, and it is very much so, is this what cancer looks like? AKA, like, for first of all, Giselle is not even close to the medical field. So I get it. When you're an expert in something, you want to speak on it, but you never come into someone's space and in their face and just tell them flat out in so many ways that I think you're lying, because I'm a medical professional, and the way that it is in the medical field and as a medical expert, that's not what you do. You don't drink. And as Sutton kept saying, my doctor told me, and she was like, well, if you're,
I take it at night.
She was like, you can do what you want to do if you choose not to. No, it's not. If my doctor said, there are 1 million doctors in the world. We know all doctors they all have, well, not all of them have licenses and are, medical grades to do things, right? But everybody has their own doctor for a reason. If my doctor told me that I can drink while taking some damn Tylenol or some ibuprofen, then I'm going to drink because that's what my doctor told me. I don't care who you are, who you're seeing. This is my doctor, and that's what it is. I don't care how many degrees or what you work on, anything like that. So crazy for her, stupid for her to make herself look even more crazy by trying to turn it around on Sutton. I thought Sutton handled herself very well, and she still poked fun, and she was like, is this a doctor's appointment? I thought it was really like kind of Son and Annemarie. And what I didn't like was seeing Annemarie and Kyle kind of snicker off to the side while Sutton is right there, because that's like disrespectful to be talking about somebody. Like, if Sutton, Kyle, if you're going to say something and say it out in front of everybody, don't just be snickering to the side. This girl things to say, and she's looking crazy. Both of them look really crazy tonight. Annemarie left that conversation, the pool event or whatever she had with Kyle, ready to come to this girl about her medical condition. So whatever Sutton has going on, if she says that's what she has and that's what her doctor says, then that's what it is. We're not going to be out here, diagnosing people with things, and just because you work in a certain field, it's just not fair and it's not right. Now, when she was just like, don't yell at me, I was like, now, Sutton, she's not yelling at you, girl. Maybe my audio was too low, but I was like, Sutton, the girl is not yelling at you. Like, calm down. But you got her together, so let's just leave with that. But I noticed that Housewives, they kind of take a moment and be like, don't yell at me, like, when they're like kind of on the defense. I think she was kind of going to lose it there, but she brought it back and she remained big slut. So I was happy for her. I had no complaints. And Annemarie, girl, if you're gonna come into this group, please come into this group with your own mind, not behind Kyle's, because the majority
That's the wrong mind.
the majority of the fan base for Beverly Hills, and I'm gonna say it with confidence, they do not like Kyle. Now I'm not. I can speak for my square, and I know where you stand, Jamie, and this panel. But the majority of people do not like Kyle like that. So try to build your own friendships. I think that Sutton was actually open to getting to know her. She spoke to her earlier, and I think she was blindsided. So from this moment onward, if Sutton has an issue with her, she's well in her right because Annemarie tried her. Period.
Yeah. I think the thing for me was when Annemarie said, well, allegedly you said that you have this esophagus thing and that's why you don't eat. I was like, oh, that you're just repeating what Kyle says. And Sutton was really quick to say, no, I eat, lady. Like, who are you? You're not my doctor, so please mind your business.
And she's a doctor's assistant. She's an assistant.
Yeah, a nurse's assistant. A nurse's assistant.
She's. I don't want to be, because I work in IT, so I don't do anything medical. I go see a doctor, right? But you are not. I don't even know if she can prescribe medicine. Okay, and if she can, sure. But I think she clearly is speaking on things that she doesn't know about. You worry about putting people to sleep successfully, not people's throat or their feet and things like that. I'm just saying, from what I'm hearing, I think she's speaking on things she probably don't know about. She may have looked it up, and maybe she took a test on it in one of her programs, but she is not an expert in that area. So just hush. Just hush.
When she told Annemarie not to yell at her, I took that as, I think she was trying to get a reaction. She was trying to gaslight her because she repeated herself like 3 times and was kind of chuckling. Well, don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. I think she was trying to poke at Annemarie to get that lady to lose it, because that's what she did with Kyle. Yeah. That's what she did with Dorit. So like,
getting other people's skin this season by just being so calm, I still can't get over name them, because it will always be the last name them for me. The last one when she was after Kyle
pause,
and she was just like, name them. Like, I'm not saying you name them. That still takes me out. It's always the last one for me. So yeah, Big Sutt is in the house.
Big Sutt. All right, guys.
I'm sorry.
We got some callers in the queue. Tess, who is the first one?
First call.
I was not paying attention.
And really quickly, Punk Daddy, you have been asking all night how to call in. Now we have many times. So again, I'm gonna put the link in the chat one more time. Because a lot of y'all like to join the queue at the last second. We can't be here all night now. So Punk Daddy, you click on this link, and when you click on the link, it'll probably ask you for to share your audio. It may be, so if you have an iPhone or an Android, whatever it is, you may have to share like, what is it called, access to the StreamYard. But I don't think you have to do all that, honestly. Just click the link, share your audio. You can do camera, or you have to do cameras, up to you, and then you'll join the queue and we'll let you on. Okay. So first caller is going to be Demisio. Hey, Demisio.
Hey Mauricio.
How are you?
I'm good. This whole entire episode made Kyle look extremely bad. I don't know what was worse, the FaceTime call with Morgan. Like, girl, of course it's different from your other friends. It's called flirting, Kyle. That's what it's called. Of course it's different. Her bringing Kim to the event, or her trying to make a point by wearing 1,000,000 layers of jewelry. Like, it just looked,
it's so tacky.
Like, it just looked so tacky. It just made her look bad. Annemarie, I already don't like her because she coming in on the wrong team. Like, girl, who died and made you the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills personal care provider? Like,
not PCP.
Like, girl, like, coming in questioning, honey, like, who? I'm like saying, who are you? Like, am I on Interrogation Island here? Like, what? Like, it's, girl, she being like Naneka, coming in on the wrong team, honey, trying to, like you said, the fans don't even like Kyle. So, girl, that ain't even the one you even should be wanting to get behind. Like, girl, I would have preferred her to get behind Erika than Kyle, even Dorit.
And let me say this, she can be her friend. I don't mind that. I just think that she needs to, like, not just align herself completely with her. It's not smart for any newbie to do that, in my opinion. I think that's where a lot of newbies go wrong, in my opinion.
I agree. And it's given that she doesn't have her own brain either. It's given, like Nene Lee said, telling you when to eat. when to drink. And I'm tired of the read too. I'm glad Sutton was giving it to them, child. I was like, I was clapping at the end of the episode. I am proud of Sutton because she is really standing up to these BICCHs for the first time without any crying or even any kind of retreating. Like, she's going full on. Like when she told Dorit, girl, you was talking about me and you was talking about me to Crystal. I live calling her right on now, getting head on, beating it to the punch. Even though she kind of fumbles a little bit, she was still nailing them like she was supposed to. And I enjoyed Crystal for the first time too. I'm not the biggest Crystal fan.
Oh, we know.
I'm not the biggest Crystal fan, but if she gives us more of this and what we seen in the mid-season trailer, I think I can kind of get on board with her just a tad, just a little bit, just a little bit. All right, that's all, you guys.
Thank you, DBCO.
All right, DBCO.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow, man.
All right, our next caller is going to be lovable Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, darling. Hey, my two guys. How y'all guys doing tonight?
How are you?
We're good. How are you?
I love that Aretha shirt because I'm a big Aretha fan. I love it, baby. Yeah. Yeah, let me get on because I know my boy be getting on me. He be getting on. He said I go too fast. He said I go too long. But anytime I'm tell you something. It was sad for me, and it did hit me when Cal said she lost her best friend. Cal said she didn't know what had happened, and it hit me hard because I have tried to commit suicide, and it's hard. And I've been there, so that really did hit me hard. It did hit me, and I could see. I think that was the cause of all her Cal's problems.
That's a tough thing to go through.
Like I'm for real, because now she lost her best friend out of nowhere. Yeah. Then you got you got a problem with your sister. And now, that was probably made her reach out to Kim. Because I can always say, y'all, sisters fall out all the time. And even me and my sister, we fall out all the time, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool, but it's the way you make up. Mm-hmm. And that's all I'm saying about. I just pray that her and Kathy and Kim, they get back together. So I don't too much get on family relationships like that. But I tell you this right here, congratulations to my girl Erika for her Vegas residency. I got to go to Vegas and see her. I love me some Erika. Okay. I love me some Crystal too. Crystal got everybody together. I'm glad my girl is standing up. Crystal, that's good. Get them together, baby. She's standing up for herself. Now, but for the other female, I can't stand her. Because now you want to stand up and be like you will. Like you said it was a dogma. You said more what you said last season to Crystal. That thing. Now you want to be friends with Crystal. Crystal, where your mind at, girl? Don't be friends with no damn Sutton. She kind of call you mentally ill. She kind of call Crystal mentally ill and stuff like that, yelling at. Nah, baby, you ain't gonna be my friend yelling at me. So we gonna have a problem. I don't forgive stuff like that. I'm sorry, I don't give stuff like that. Yeah, I make things. I don't like Sutton. I never like it. That's why Diana came at her last season. You hear what Diana called her. You were down when they was in there sitting down. You see what down? I can't say it on him. I can't say it on him, but you see what down called. Elsa was right there with Elsa. Said, yeah, you right. Yeah, you right. She was right there with her. And I believe she is like that. I really do believe that. Why you all the child business about her marriage and her rings on her fingers? Y'all need to worry about y'all men. Well, y'all men is? Can y'all keep a man? Can you and Crystal keep a man? I'm like Elka said, it's not the cat t-shirt. That means you can't suck no good dick. You can't suck no good dick.
Well, she has a small esophagus, so she probably can't deep throat, but that's okay. She can probably put the head in somewhere. I don't know. I mean,
well, that's what you need to worry about. I worry about child marriage. Stop worrying about who knew what's going on in there because people been talking for years about Mr. Yo having affairs. They've been saying that stuff for years. Now, even Lisa Vanderpump brought it up when she was on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lisa. Oh my God.
Yeah, but that's all I got to say, baby doll. And I like me some Annemarie. Annemarie was telling me, say, girl, they don't make no sense you saying. That's because she's not, I'm going to tell you something. That's because she's not practicing in that field. That don't mean she's not telling the truth. Okay? She tells you that what she's saying medically, what she's telling people telling the truth, she said, what you're saying medically do not make no sense. And she telling the truth about Sutton. Y'all know I'm not a big Sutton fan. So, you know, I'm like Diana with Diana called her. Yeah, I'm down with it. I love
Lisa,
y'all.
Thank you, Lisa.
I love
very
y'all.
happy that you were here. Thank you for bringing us joy every single time that you call in.
I'm weak for.
Oh my God, not the dick sucking.
Lisa, we respect everybody's
Oh,
opinion.
not the dick sucking.
And if that's how she feels, I will say to all the Erika Jane fans, if you want to see her residence, she has a show this upcoming Friday and Saturday, and tickets are starting at $14. So
there we go.
You know, you can.
I will say,
her.
Lisa ain't budged about who she loves and who she's disliked for the 3 years she's been doing these recaps.
I agree. Lisa has been very consistent
She hates Sutton from day one.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Consistency. We love
no flip flopping over there.
I probably said, the price increase. Yeah, from $7 to $14. And the most, if you want to be really close, it's $122. But you know, that's a lot for Erika. All right, Kyra. Speaking of Kyra, hey Kyra, how are you?
Hello. Lisa's always coming, cracking up. And again, thank you for sharing your story. I love that you guys have a nice space where we can laugh and like talk about real things when it's time. This episode, easy things. Erika, the PR is worth every penny. Okay, whoever is doing the rebrand,
all $14, all $14 worth.
$14.
Baby, they need a Christmas bonus for the way they are making you work on the PR worth every single dollar. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Right? Every dollar. Kyle, I always say this. Kyle is a low down heifer. She is a beta. She's the little sister who wants it all. I cannot stand that woman. It's very sad about her friend. And it is nice to know that she had someone like that in her life. But it is also interesting that when people are asking her questions and when she wants people to ask her questions directly, instead of actually just answering, she's bobbing her head around and trying to act like she's head bitch in charge. I find that fascinating because then to me, it does seem like there's so much more that you're not saying. Because also it's like you're saying the same breath, you don't like the way Sutton's approaching you. But then you're also on the after show, Watch What Happens Live, talking about how you were upset about Dorit even bringing it up on the show in the first place. So what do you want? Cortez, you haven't, yeah, she was talking about how she didn't like that Dorit, when Dorit asked her the questions when they were in the car. She said she didn't like that Dorit asked her on camera if a real friend would have called her off camera. So I don't know what you want.
The rules don't apply to anybody but her. Like you can't ask her questions, but she can ask whatever. She can bring up whatever. She doesn't like when those same rules are applied to her.
Yeah, let's say Sutton does have like a drinking problem and whatever it is. I mean, I'm just saying she brought it up. Like, you know, you can't be selective about what comes up on camera. And I mean, it didn't seem like she didn't seem like she didn't want to talk about it then. She seemed very comfortable to me in that car.
Okay.
Yes. So that was her running thing. And I think to me, it's always fascinating watching Kyle try to be a mean girl, but then she always backs away from it. Again, Sutton was an alcoholic, had an eating disorder. We're making fun of the esophagus. We're making fun of the feet. We're mixing drugs and alcohol, but we didn't care about Erika. But now when you come and you get confronted by Sutton, I was just talking about that one night. No, Heffa, you're an alcoholic.
Multiple times.
Many times. And borderline bulimic and everything else, eating disorder, everything.
As I said, Sutton that night had 5 different problems. Sutton was a walking disaster and needed to be in someone's mental psychic hospital immediately.
Where was her scooter?
Where was the scooter? So to me, I'm just like, and you see how Kyle got caught off guard because Sutton brought that up in front of Kim. Because to me, I feel like, I think Sierra Content said it as kind of like, at least Kyle wanted to own a little bit of it because she didn't want Sutton to go into what she was saying. She cut off Sutton before Sutton was able to really get into, well, you said X, Y, and Z. And then also to like wanted to lay it all on Sutton about like, oh, well, you brought up the ring. And Sutton said, I didn't bring up the ring. Okay, Garcelle did. And then she's like, okay, bring Garcelle over here. Yes, I did. I thought he cheated. Who brought you the ring? And I just, Kyle, why do you keep confronting Garcelle about things and you think she's not going to be straight with you?
Yeah, she's very straight.
Very straightforward.
Nobody backed down in that moment. Crystal, Sutton, and Garcelle were like, yeah, I said it, and I said it to this person. It's very rare on Housewives you see someone don't trip up in their words, but neither one of them tripped up. They were like, yeah, I said it, but I said it to this person, and I said it this way. It was yeah.
And I do want to know how is Kyle feeling, even though it has been talked about on the other show, of the fact that Erika and Dorit were making fun of how you are working out. Dorit is constantly in her confessionals talking about your marriage and how you guys are acting so differently. So when someone does say, I'm asking questions about what everyone's talking about, it is true, ma'am. It literally is true, because your one good Judy here is in her confessionals every episode. Almost every episode, Dorit has at least a sentence or two about how Kyle is so different. And again, Kyle wants to be big, bad, be in charge, because I feel like she a little upset that them stores never stayed open. Every time she opened up one, she had to close another. Then you're talking about, oh, I wonder if she's going to say something about this necklace. Heffa, the thing was not about the jewelry. It was about the fact that you had a new piece of jewelry on a very specific finger. And now you're trying to act obtuse because now you want to be like, I have all this money. But at the end of the day, the main problem that you always have on the show is that it seems like everything you have is on the backs of your sister. The show is on the back of your sisters. The agency is on the back of your sisters. Your producer credit is on the back of your sisters. And I think that's where some of her contention comes in, again, with other women who not on the same path, but I feel like I always say that, Sutton's like Kim, of like Sutton's kooky, and people somewhat accept her. And then I didn't even think about the store, about how she opened it up right before the pandemic and it's still open and still thriving, to the point where she's like having cashmere lines and all that kind of stuff. It does seem like you are too awkward and weird to be successful, so I must put you down a peg. That's what it feels like. And then you want to.
You gotta Sutton. Why is Sutton catching praise?
I love Sutton, but like you clearly that's how Kyle treats her. That's how Kyle thinks of Sutton. Because now you go apologize, and as I think Cortez says, then you get Annemarie and you're whispering to Annemarie, "Oh, it's lipstick time," and like, yeah, the throat thing.
Yeah,
the throat thing.
She ain't slick. We see it. We peep it.
I think Annemarie would be fine, and I don't have a problem with you being friends with the person who obviously brought you on the show. It just doesn't look great that you immediately took marching orders from Kyle. And I think that is going to be the issue. It's not that she's your friend, she's the one who brought you on, but like as soon as Kyle said she's the one who's making fun of me for working out, Annemarie has been on the get. And y'all aren't even close like that. So I think that's like the only thing that she might run into, aside from obviously her own personal issues with the husband herself. That's the only thing. But
let's not talk about the husband.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about the husband. All right, Kaya. Thank you so much. I know that this last half, there's so much going on. Like, Kyra, again, you've been with us since we started recapping this a couple of years ago, when Sutton and Crystal and Garcelle and everybody came on. So I feel like the last half of this season, like us fans who have been there, we're going to be so happy with the content that we're getting.
Oh, yes, the downfall.
Every single one of them is taking time to like beat up people, and I love it. So welcome. Thank you. Thank you for staying with us.
There was a quick comment, and I didn't think about this even while watching the show, from Priya. Says, I think Kyle backed down from the accusations because Kim was next to her in that moment. I did not think about that. But thinking about how triggering that could be for her, because I really feel had she doubled down into those accusations and said, and not lied, and said that she was insinuating Sutton was an alcoholic generally, I think Kim would have probably been like, really, Kyle? We doing again? So Kyle was smart, but not that smart, because we got it on camera. So
yeah.
And we know what she said. So let's just leave it at that. All right, Jamie, you got it.
All right. Well, everybody, that wraps up the show for tonight. It's been fun. Once again, the comments are the best part of doing these recaps. Like, I love being able to recap with Tez, Antonio, and Danny, and Chase, and Chad, and Love when she's on here, and all of us. We rotate, but literally, like, you guys we get so much energy off of y'all's call-ins, off of y'all's comments. So thank you to everybody. Jessica, Cheryl, what's that Whitney mean? Jessica, Cheryl, Kai, Saya.
I don't know because I don't.
Thank you. I don't know nothing about that lifestyle.
That's not me.
Thank you guys so much for coming in every single week and engaging with us. We absolutely love it. It's been a blast with you guys. Don't forget, tomorrow we are live at 7:30, recapping tonight's episode.
8:30 Eastern. You know, we put out
8:30 Eastern. Sorry,
7:30 for Jamie because
8:30 Eastern. Recapping the Real Housewives of Miami. We saw some comments in here that people are going to watch it on DVR because y'all chose to lean in with us. We love you guys. Thank y'all so much.
So that means a lot because you guys are, foregoing that live viewing to be like, we want to watch. You want to watch us first and then get back to those ladies because they fun, but we're better, right?
We're better. We're more entertaining. So thank you guys so much, Tez. Thank you for leaning in with me. Tez is going on a trip for a couple of weeks, so everybody wish him safe travels.
You know what? The funny thing about all this is that I'll be in Atlanta for 2 weeks, and I will be actually hanging out and probably even filming with some of our.
I love that.
Co-hosts. I may pop up at Chase's house, pop up at Antonio's house. I ain't going to Chad's house because her gates don't even work, so I don't know. But
you got the two little dogs. The two little dogs tear you up.
I know. But yeah, thank y'all for leaning. And then if we don't see you guys, obviously we have some more shows next week before the holidays. If we don't see you guys, be safe this holiday. We want to go into the new year. Everybody want to make it and stuff. Be safe, smart decisions.
We want everybody who is here tonight to be there.
Yeah.
On every other episode.
2024. So yeah.
Yeah.
Sean, stop watching my Instagram. You know what? Let's lean out. Let's lean out. Good night,
y'all. Guys. Y'all have a great night.